Welcome back to Pole Obsession, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of pole dancing, its culture, evolution, and the incredible people shaping it. Today, we have an absolute icon in the Australian pole scene. The wonderful Ness is here to join us. She is the powerhouse behind Bobbi's Pole Studio Sydney, the longest running and original pole studio in Australia, and the creator of Miss Pole Dance Australia, which is the longest pole competition in the world. She also has her fingers in many pies because we also have Mr. Pole Dance and MX Pole, two incredible sister pop competitions that have also stemmed from her original competition. So she's here today to talk to us about all things pole and Bobbies and Miss Pole Dance Australia and everything after that. Thank you, Ness, for being with us and welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. We're very excited to have you. And I know that you're a little reluctant, but we're very happy that you came on.
I'm happy with that. Bobbi was always the front person. The teachers can be the front person. The people, I'm the behind the scenes.
Well, behind the scenes is where a lot of the work happens as well.
Yeah.
It's true.
I'm super excited because Ness, you've been part of my pole journey for such a long time. I think right from the beginning, when I was a pole baby, I've known you since then, which is almost 20 years ago now. So I'm really excited to get like your the full story behind what I think I've got like bits and pieces of, but I'm super excited to sort of hear from your mouth how your experience was. So on that vein, I think very first question I'd love to ask you is, how did you first get introduced to pole and what really drew you to it?
So I was thinking about this last night, and I have a recollection that I saw a little snippet on like Mind, Body, Soul on the TV of a pole dancer that I thought was Bobbi. Bobbi said that never happened, but I thought that happened. Anyway, I called a strip club. Oh no, that's right. Sorry. I kept saying to people, all my friends, when I'd see them, I'm going to go pole dancing. I'm going to learn pole dancing, blah, blah. And one day this girl said, Ness, I saw you 3 months ago and you said, are you actually ever going to sign up or are you just going to talk about it? And I was like, oh yeah, fair enough. So I called a strip club the next day. I was caught out. I couldn't just talk about it anymore. I called a strip club and said, do you have pole dancing lessons at all? And they were like, funny you should say that. We have a little course starting next week. And I went, oh, okay, thanks. But I had to be there on a Saturday at 12 to pay them in cash. And it was a Tuesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and Saturdays at midday. One was in Dances Cabaret in the Cross and one was in Men's Gallery. So I walked in for my first lesson and I had to skive off work because 4 o'clock on a Tuesday and like 12 o'clock, they were just the worst times. But I was, I said I was going, I'm bloody going. So I rocked in and there was like, no, it's a strip. Maybe I'd been to a strip club before, but anyway, I walked in. There was no music. There was kind of no welcome. There was this girl, actually, she was Bobbi and she was dressed in hot pants. So I was like, well, that must be the teacher. But there was no mirrors. There were strip club mirrors, but they're not like the studio mirrors. No music, no warm up. And the first move she got us to do was an upside down V. She's like, oh, I don't know, try this one out. Did an upside down V, and we're all like sliding down the poles and like just crap. And we're like, we can't do that. That's really hard. And she's like, oh, okay, try this one. And it was a straight leg layback. And we're like, like, we're just useless. So she actually had a hard time to dumb it down for us and give us anything we could do. I loved her boots. She was wearing thigh highs. And a couple of weeks into the classes, she bought me an old pair that she had. So I spent the whole 6 weeks, so twice a week, 6 weeks, walking around a pole at a strip club in the thigh-high boots, just looking at myself in the mirror. I didn't do any moves. I couldn't do any moves, but I just looked really good. I got a pole at home, loved it. It was just the best thing I'd ever done. And so after that 6 weeks, they said, oh, it's not worth us doing it, so we're not. And Jamila was my other teacher. It was Bobbi on a Tuesday and then Jamila was my teacher.
What a story.
Amazing.
And then they thought it's not worth doing it. So we're not going to run them anymore. And I said to Bobbi on the last day, because I was just mind blown. Like, she was amazing. I was like, you kind of wasted in a strip club. Like, women need to see you. This is amazing. This is the coolest thing ever. And on the last day I said, what if you can get the strip club I have no photographer. He's coming from New York out to Sydney. If you can borrow or hire the strip club, why don't we take some photos of you? We'll get him to take photos. And she's like, oh yeah, all right, cool. So we did that. We made a coffee table book because I was like, people need to see it. And I sent it off to Tashin. Like we got a graphic artist to put the photos together. I sent it off to Tashin. While that was at Tashin, I went, let's get a pole made. Bobbi's dad was some sort of engineer and he was going to make portable poles. Well, he did for a while, but before we opened the studios, I was like, we'll do a DVD and we'll do a pole that people can buy from Rebel Sport and do this at home and learn at home. So we had we'd written the script and we had got a director and a photographer, and the dad was making the pole and I was calling Rebel, like just this little girl that didn't really know anything. Hey, do you want to sell this pole? Trying to set up a meeting. And while that was happening, I got the book back from Tashin and they were like, thanks, but no thanks. And looking at it, it was pretty crap. But, I had to do a coffee table book. Anyway. And then meanwhile, one of the clubs, sorry, this is a really long answer.
No, I love it. Please keep going.
It's so
I am
good.
invested.
It's so goodness. Yeah.
So meanwhile, Bobbi worked for another club called Lady Jane's, and they had like a massage parlor in Pitt Street. And there was a mezzanine in the massage parlor where there were some weight machines and stuff, and the bouncers would come to work out there. And there was one pole, and the dancers from the club would come, and Bobbi would teach them pole dancing. And she must have spoken to the owner of Lady Jane's, and the guy said, oh, look, I heard that you kind of may be interested in doing some lessons or something. Look, if you want to chuck another pole up, and pay me a proportion of whatever you get, then we can do that. And we're like, whoa, cool. That's awesome. Pardon me. So we put another pole up. Bobbi had just renovated her house, so she had heaps of pots of paint. And she found Candace and Jamila that were going to teach for us as well. So there were 3 teachers, Bobbi, Candace, Jamila. We put another pole up. We all went in there. I think I had a little boom box. We got a mirror, I think she had from her home, like one mirror, one panel of mirror. We were painting the walls of this place. Oh, and she made curtains. I think we put $200 in each. That's how we started Bobbi's.
Wow.
That was for the pole mainly, and maybe some materials. So we used her old paint, and we'd finish paint, the paint would run out, and we'd be like, oh, just draw a line and get a new color. It doesn't matter. It was just the easiest job. and Candace, and we were called Sydney Pole Dancing School, and we had yellow brochures, and Candace and I would go to Pitt Street Mall and hand out brochures to people. And then in the meantime, sorry, I got a pole at home, got my thigh-high boots, got pregnant. And I realized that that's how I'd been trying to get pregnant for a year, but the thigh-high boot seems to do the trick. You have sex more, you get pregnant easier, that's how it works. So now I'm heavily pregnant, and I was going to strip clubs, heavily pregnant. So leaving my corporate job with this big belly, going to strip clubs to see Bobbi do her daytime show, and then we'd have a meeting afterwards. So, and I was very proud. One day, this guy tapped me on the shoulder. He said, hello, could I have a private show? And I turned around with my big belly and I went, really? And he went, oh, sorry. I was like, thanks a lot. Yes, I'll take that. So yeah, meetings in strip clubs. That was fun. And I think I don't know how, but somebody contacted us and said, are you doing a pole dancing thing? And we said yes. And we had this teeny tiny 3-line article in the Sydney Morning Herald. It was just about our open day, and we got 100 people show up. But
No way.
So it's a really long answer. But do you want me to keep going?
Yes.
Keep going?
Yes.
Okay. On this one question, I'm so sorry. So the guy at the massage parlor, there was an old guy that kind of ran it, and every time we'd put music on, he'd be like, close on music. So we were really nervous if all these people came for open day that he would get cranky. So we called the owner of the strip club and went, hey, we're a bit nervous that whatever his name is going to get cranky because we've got an open day. And he went, oh, leave it with me, I'll sort it. So these 2 guys came up the stairs they were total mafia guys. Like, I swear, I don't know, does Australia have the mafia? So this guy had these like sunglasses, they just looked like heavies. And I was like, this isn't cool. Like, what? So I like said, hello, my name's Vanessa, and like went to shake his hand and say, can you just go into another room? Like, we don't, like, just go and maybe talk to the guy, tell him not to have a problem with our people. Anyway, he wouldn't shake my hand. He just looked at me. I'm like, hello, I'm Vanessa. Like, nice to meet you. And he just stood and stared. I'm like, whoa, this is just creepy. And we had to get Bobby's husband. We had to call him. He was in the city. We're like, can you come and deal with this? So he came and he took them outside and they shook his hand. And I was like, assholes. Anyway, so that was the start. And by this time I'd had the baby. So I was breastfeeding and I had like a sheet of paper, and I think we just told these 100 people, which hardly fit into the mezzanine. We said, this is how a class would work. There'll be 6 people in a class, 3 people on the 2 poles, and then 3 people will be doing some sort of workout. Of course, that didn't happen. 2 people were on the poles and the rest just sat and watched them.
Yeah.
But we were like, this is how the class is going to work. And then you're going to learn a routine and whatever. So everybody signed up. I'm pretty sure like 99 of the 100 signed up. And I was breastfeeding and going, on Thursday, hey, Jamila, could you do a Saturday afternoon? Like, hey, Bobby, do you want a Sunday? And just putting classes on like as the classes would get full. And we were like, oh, okay, I guess this is going to work. It's cool. And then we'd filled everything because we only had 2 polls, So people were still calling me. So my phone number was on everything. And like I was getting heaps of calls. Word had got out. And I was like, I'm sorry, like we're full. We can't put any more classes on, like, but we're full. And so I took all their details. And in that 8-week term, and I've still got the syllabus. It's embarrassing with these like kind of weird workout and then what they would do on the poles. Anyway, in that 8-week term, we went and found Castlereagh Street. So we took the carpet out and we did everything ourselves. The roof was horrible, so we stapled gun material to it. We got poles from like a metal factory. There was no like pussycat pole or anything. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
Amazing.
Because I was still painting, and there was like, this is disgusting. There was chewing gum on like really, really old fossilized chewing gum on the windowsill. And we were painting, and people were starting to come in for the open day, and we're like just painting over the chewing gum, just going, yeah, that'll do. And we bought so much. And Dulux had but every time you bought like X amount liters of paint, you would get a big container of jelly beans.
Jelly beans. I knew you were going to say jelly beans.
That explains so much.
We just
I was always like, why are there jelly beans here? But now I know.
Right. And we could just pop open the lid and like leave the can of paint with the jelly beans in it for people to take. And when it emptied, we had like 6 of these cans, like 4-liter cans of jelly beans. So it took a while for them to all go. And then people were like, where are the jelly beans? And we're like, oh, no, they're gone. And they're like, what do you mean they're gone? We love the jelly beans. And I'm like, yes, we're doing jelly beans.
There's always been jelly beans at Bobbi's. Yeah, that's so funny. Isn't that so cute?
Oh my gosh. Jelly beans now?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Not the same ones. They're new ones.
They're fresh. They're fresh. I have so many questions. Do you, Felix?
Yes, okay, you go first. You go first.
Yeah, okay, because it's just so many questions here. Okay, first of all, were you not nervous to walk into a strip club that you'd never ever been into before? Like, that in itself is going to be intimidating, because I know when people just come to pole, that's a dedicated pole class, they're nervous. Tell me about that.
Yes, I was super nervous. I had to go to I was skiving off work. So to walk into a strip club at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday in King's Cross, I was like, oh, if anybody sees me, I'm so sacked,
What was your job before Ness?
Yeah.
I was in call centers. So I was call center manager. I was quality assurance for Merrill Lynch HSBC. I was like banking and wine and all sorts of products.
You would have been sacked.
I would have.
It's, yeah.
Amazing.
I think also, Ness, that just shows us really early on, and you might not have even known this going in there, but what an entrepreneur. Like, did you have any concept that this was going to be the way it was, or did you just like, no, I love pole dancing. This is just so much fun, and I just want everyone else to try it. Is that what your thinking was?
I wanted everyone else to try it. I thought it might be a fun little project for maternity leave. I never thought it would get so many students, like ever. I just thought um, the other thing about the massage parlor is I truly thought it was just a massage parlor. Like it was a massage parlor. Like I didn't know. I was like, why are all these girls coming in like in lingerie and stuff? And like, why is there a dirty spa in the men's bathroom? And like, this place is weird. And then Bobby's like, it's a massage parlor. I'm like, oh, I get it now.
It's a massage parlor.
I didn't even click. That didn't just click to me until you just said it's. I was like, right.
I love that you were just three gals with some poles, and there's 100 people just swarming in to be like, we want to know more about this. Were there any people from that initial 100 that are still floating around?
Well, Isabella, one of my teachers, she did the classes with me at the strip club and has been ever since. Possibly, I don't know. They come and go, some of those older, but it was quite different. Like we had our first amateur night really quickly, like maybe 3 months in, because people just wanted to perform, and we did it at a strip club, and people got naked. Like
wow,
the doctors and lawyers, they were the original 100. They were people I think that kind of secretly wanted to be strippers, but would have a life, they have kids, and they whatever. And they're never going to do it, but they kind of want to. They want to, and yeah, people were getting naked at amateur night. And I remember once it was so unorganized. Bobby and I were like, "Who's ready to go on next? Like, why don't you go on? Where's your CD? We'll give it to the guy." And then we realized, oh, there's only 3 people to go, and we've still got quite a lot of time. So I was like going up to the front row, going, "Hey, do you want to go on?" And this girl, she's like, no, I don't have a costume. I'm like, Candace will lend you something, that's fine. Candace had a locker there because she worked there. So Candace, and she's like, no, but I haven't shaved. And so I ran down the supermarket and got her some razors, and she was shaving in the bathroom at the strip club so she could chuck Candace's costume on and perform to like whatever music we put on, because we didn't have enough performers, because we didn't think it through. Like, we weren't rocket science.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
So
what
much.
was this amateur night? Was it a competition, or was it like a showcase?
No, it was a competition, and we had judges. I think Maxie was, yeah, it was a total competition, and we were getting people from the audience to like, hey, go borrow a costume. We need more performers. Can you jump on, please? Just do anything.
I'm dying. This is amazing. This is so good.
Right.
The origins of the pole competitive platform right here.
Like literally, this would have been the very first pole competition in Australia.
And I bet everyone was so happy to be there, like super, super psyched. They don't care about the unorganization. They're just like, we just want to be in it.
100%.
That's awesome. It's very different now.
I can't believe that you had 99 people sign up out of 100 for a 3-line ad that you had in the newspaper.
I don't know where they came from. Word just got out. I don't know.
That's amazing. But then again, like just the power of being a pioneer in your industry, there wasn't anything out there before that, that there was a demand and there was nothing filling it.
Yeah. It felt easy.
If we could only do that now.
100%. Every class was full. We would have 300 messages at 11 o'clock on bookings day. We'd have like hundreds of people, classes were filling. Like, yeah, we could.
And it was old school then, because, you were doing all the bookings physically yourself. There wasn't booking systems. There wasn't software to do it. You were putting them in manually, calling them up and,
Yeah.
Amazing. 100%. So when you first moved into Castlereagh, did you have an idea then that going from this from the massage parlor, it had a name then, but I forgot it, Sydney something.
Sydney pole dancing?
Sydney pole dancing. So when did you decide to change it to Bobbi's?
Oh, so I said to her, hey, we should change the name because we hadn't actually officially got insurance. Don't tell anybody. We hadn't got a business name or an ABN or anything. We just kind of set up shop.
Yeah.
Still, I hope the council's not listening because we still don't have a DA.
But I
What's a
don't think you
DA?
need one. You don't need one now. So if you've been in there, because we've talked about this, Ness, looked at opening place in Sydney, and if you've been in there for a certain period of time, it's pre-approved, so you don't need it, and you've been in there for well long enough, so you actually won't need one.
What's a DA? Is that like a
Development approval.
Ah, okay. Yeah. We have
Yeah, so
similar.
you really, Sydney's city's really strict on council approval, development approval, but because she's been in there for so long running it as a pole dancing studio, she doesn't need it now.
Because we're so old.
So you're good.
Yes, what I'm hearing. Yes. Okay, good. Good. Yes. Been in it for a long time. Yes. Oh, that's so
When we
fun.
decided we needed a name, and I said, let's change the name, let's make you famous, like Tony and Guy. I think if you got your hair cut by Tony or Guy, you would probably pay more, right? Because you know how they have the levels.
Yeah.
So I was like, we'll make you famous. We'll call it Bobbi's Pole Studio. And then we'll charge more for you and we'll make you like Tony and Guy. And she's like, nah, don't be stupid. No, it's fine. And I was like, no, trust me, we're gonna make you famous. And so I was the one filling out the form. So I just filled it out, Bobbi's Pole Studio.
Amazing.
Embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. But I'm like, yeah, it worked.
You did it. Yeah.
You did it. Yeah, you definitely did it.
Amazing. Okay. I love this so much, Ness. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I want to know about when you went into Castlereagh Street. Is that where you are now, or is this a previous place? Because you had one before where you are now. Is that right?
Yeah, we had one. We've been where we are now, I don't know, 15 years or something. We must have been in Castlereagh for 5. Something like
And then
that.
what happened?
We needed a bigger space. So the place that we were in, okay, I've got a funny story for you. So we couldn't fit all the hens nights in because we had so many hens bookings. So we were going from like 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 1 o'clock in the morning with hens every weekend. So you know what? We make so much money with hens. We'll get another studio, like level 1 of the building with tiny little space, and we'll just use that for hens overflow, which obviously ended up being class overflow as well. Did it have a lift? It had a lift, but the lift was always broken. The tap was like 3 floors down, so you had to go, like if you wanted to fill up your water bottle or whatever, 3 floors down. It was a pain. And the toilets were 3 floors down as well, so it's just like not a great venue. And one day I got a phone call at like, I want to say midnight, saying, "Oh, we're locked. We can't shut the door. There's this huge steel door at our front door. It had fallen off the hinges. They're like, we can't shut it." And I don't think the building locked. So they were like, we don't know what to do, but we have to go. Like it's midnight and we finished our hands and we just want to leave. I had my second child. He was a newborn. So at midnight, I couldn't, like I called a couple of places to see if I could get like a late night carpenter or something. But I was like, I can't. So I grabbed Ashley and just drove in and said to the girls, look, you leave, I'll be there in 20 minutes. I went in and we slept on a couch, but it was bogon moths. Are they the huge moths? Bogon moths? I don't know. Anyway, it was moth season and there were moths everywhere and I couldn't lock the door. So I'm lying on the couch in the foyer with the baby and the moths kept flapping and I kept thinking somebody was breaking in. So I set like a big booby trap up like in front of the door in case somebody was trying to get me. In the morning, I got up and I was busting for the loo, which is 3 floors down. So I left the baby, who couldn't roll yet, right, on the couch, fast asleep. And I was like, I'll run down 2 floors to the loo. I thought this was safe. I got in the lift because I thought it'd be quicker. The lift stopped, like it broke. So for the policeman, I'm so sorry, but like you have to come and help me because my baby's like away from me and I'm stuck in this lift and somebody needs to get me out because my baby might roll at any moment, blah, blah. Like after that phone call, the lift started working. I went down to the toilet because I had to. And then he was still sleeping. It was fine. Police turned up. It was very embarrassing. I felt like I was going to get called from docs. Anyway, that was fun.
Oh my gosh, I was sweating, Ness. That made me sweat. Oh.
That's the story.
It's the most anxiety I've ever had about a pole dancing story. My gosh. I believe you went in with your newborn. That is dedication.
What did your husband think, you taking the newborn in and sleeping in the studio by yourself at night?
I don't even think maybe I woke him up. I don't know. He's fine. I'm a big girl. I can look after myself.
True that, Ness. And you did, despite the moms.
Yeah.
And the lift, who cares? It all works out.
Pick a fight with a sleepy new mom. Like, yeah, good on you. Oh,
Yeah.
you know,
Who's going to win?
right?
How many poles did you have in that studio?
Maybe 16.
16.
I think we had 16, yeah.
That's
And
a
then
lot.
we had baby Bobbies downstairs on level 1, and that was 8 poles.
Oh, wow. That's actually pretty big.
Yeah.
And then so you outgrew that space, and then that's where you moved to where you are now?
Yeah. So where we are now is Lennox Club, which is a Greek old man's club. And when we first got 2 levels full of people gambling and playing pokies and smoking inside and blah, blah, blah. And then they moved everybody up to level 4, all the old men, and then we were on level 3. So we got that and turned that into the studio. Now, because no young Greek men are going to join the Hellenic Club, right? They're just not into playing backgammon, I don't think,
Yeah.
So getting any new members, and there's like 3 members left. It's
Wow.
from like hundreds to like it's withered down over the years, and now there's like you go up there,
Wow.
yeah, and they can't do anything, can't close it down till the last member dies.
Oh,
Well, because they're all members, I don't know,
Oh, really?
because the members own it. It's that
So
kind
there's
of
just
thing.
no one in the building.
Yeah, on level 4, there's like often nobody, sometimes 1 person, up to 3. But it used to be like crowded, and they would play cards late night and backgammon, and they'd be betting and playing the pokies and smoking.
oh, that's a bit sweet, isn't it? So they've all gone
Yeah.
to a better place.
Yeah. So can you tell us about that, moving and opening that studio?
That felt a lot easier because we had a builder this time. The last time we kind of did everything ourselves. Yeah, we had a builder to build walls and build it. So that was just easier. I kind of wish we went with a different color scheme. I'm a bit over pink, I have to say.
It's iconic branding though. Like when you see that hot pink and black, you know it's Bobbi's Pole Studio. Like it worked.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was he did everything. It was
And
carpet
what poles did you use?
we stayed with just the brass from the brass company, like a 38 point. So when we started, we asked the strip club where they got their poles, and it was just a metal company that the handrails, I think.
Amazing.
And then
Wow. But they spin.
well, we wanted them spinny, so we got what's called a plumber's block and tackle or something. This big thing which had ball bearings in it. So you put the pole in there and it spun. But that was like a plumber's thing. And then we went to the metal shop. So we kind of MacGyvered these things. But the strip clubs did it first. We didn't start it. So yes, we had all these big metal things on the ground to make them spin. And they couldn't go static then. But sometimes they'd break and then they'd be static. And then we
And now we're on static, guys.
Amazing. Hey, Ness, where did the little Bobbi's girl, the little Bobbi's the logo, where did that come from?
Oh, okay. So all these people, I think when you register a business name, people get your list and they call you like, do you want a website? And we're like, no, who wants a website? What's a website? Like, And then they kept calling. And then one of our students, Foxy, who ended up being a teacher, her and her husband had a company called Red Fox Media. And she brought into class one night this folder, and it was like, we would like to, do your branding for you. We would like to, give you a logo. And this is like 10 logos you can choose from. And the only reason we bought it is because she made a business card for me and for Bobbi with our name on it. And it's like, owner, Bobbi's Pole Studio. And we're like, oh, this is awesome. So we had like our business card. We're like, let's go with them because they're cool. And oh, website, okay. And they made it for us for free classes. So she did free classes and we got a website and we just went, oh, that girl looks the best. Thanks.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty simple.
So cute.
Have you still got that same website?
No. Oh, it's not that different though. No, it is a little bit different, yeah. But we've taken the girl away. We've kind of painted over her. We just kind of let her phase out. What?
Phase the girl out. Well, she needed to retire. You know, it's not a forever game.
Exactly. Although the students got her tattooed on her belly.
Oh,
people do that, don't they? I forget. I think there's a ton of Felixes out there.
There would be.
Yeah. I love them. I love. There's a few people with the wing as well. It's so sweet.
Yeah.
Such a lovely
Well, it's a compliment, right?
Compliment, yeah. You just,
It is, yeah.
I'm always like, it's very brave of people to get something like that immortalized on them when they don't know you personally. I don't think I'm a bad person personally, but yeah, what if I was?
Yeah, well, that's it. Right. So then with the new studio, how many poles were in that one?
Let me move what was the same as we got now. So 13, 14, and 8. Whatever that is.
Okay, so it's less.
35.
Well, you've got the additional 14. So the other one was 16 and 8, and this one is 16, 8, and 14. So it's 14 more.
So bigger, so you can run more classes then.
On the same level, and we have a lift that works. We have air conditioning. That's the other thing. Oh my goodness, we didn't have air conditioning. Oh,
well, yeah, that's a big deal.
Thank you for listening to part 1 of our chat with Ness, who founded Bobbi's Pole Studio and Miss Pole Dance Australia. If you'd like to find Ness, you can follow her on Instagram at Bobbi's Pole Studio. You can follow Felix at The Real Felix Kane, and you can follow Elizabeth at Aerial Pole, all on Instagram.